This is going to be game number 53 in the streak. I am also going to be doing a bit of a tutorial today. We're playing Trunk. I don't know a whole lot about the new spells, so I can talk about those a little bit as we mess with them, but for the most part, I'm going to be sort of doing a tutorial on how to play a caster, which is going to be just a lot more complicated than, for example, my Mibby tutorial, because with a caster, especially with a caster with sort of flat aptitudes, it really is complicated in terms of like it is that your path is going to be determined a lot by what you find. It's not so cut and dry. With a Mibby, you can pretty much do the same thing every game and you'll do fine. If you were to try to play, let's say, an Octopode Conjurer, which is what we're doing today. Octopode Conjurer. Oh, I already got something really shitty. I got a horrible entry vault. Wonderful. If you try to play an Octopode Conjurer the same way every single game, you're going to run into some serious issues. Alright, so our stealth is already pretty good. I like to take it up to about 2. Let's take fighting to 1 and see where our hit points is. You love my attitude? Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the entrance vault here, and it's really quite bad. I thought Certified Brain Genius Ebering was trying to fix these, but I guess he left this garbage in. I mean, the reason this is bad is because, I mean, here, well, there's only one thing I can do, which is walk forward and open this door. So I open this up, and I could just get swarmed, and there's like no goddamn place for me to go. You know, sorry, I don't want to be negative Nancy over here, but it is a little bit of a problem. So let's just hope we don't get a jackal pack, and oh, we've already got a problem. Alright. Okay, so let's take a look and see exactly what we're dealing with here. Morose Malcolm, haha. Alright, so a goblin, a kobold, and most importantly, a leopard gecko. These are big issues. We got a kobold that does 4+ dagger, that's 6 + 4 - 2 because of the... I mean, it's just a quirk of DCSS, is whenever a monster has a weapon, you subtract 2 to get the minus, or to get the maximum amount of damage it can do, so that this kobold can do 8 damage to me. This goblin can do 4 + 5 - 2 is 7 damage to me. Nothing can one-shot me, but most importantly, this fella here can do technically 10 damage to me because they move at 12 speed if they get 2 attacks. Oh, it's really bad. Everything is still sleeping, so I have a couple of things I could do. All right, we know for a fact we've got to kill this gecko. We don't know what else is around, so it may be so horrible that my best option is actually to just go in here and close the door. If none of this stuff notices me, it's not really going to get me anywhere, is it? Because the stuff is eventually going to wake up, I guess, but probably not. It'll probably just chill out, and then I'm just stuck here. And I don't want to be in this hallway, really, getting beaten on by things that can two-shot me. Yeah, we can look at the leopard gecko. Sorry, I still don't have a bot in the Discord, or excuse me, in the Twitch itself. So yeah, he's speed 12. So we could magic dart him. Dude. We could magic dart him right now, and it's pretty likely to... Let's just see, what's my spell power with that? Okay, it's pretty likely to one-shot him. Hey, Mr. Awesome, we got a really bad starter vault. I could, you know, with my big boy, notice that I'm an octopode, so my stealth apt is 4, so I start with 2.6 stealth. It's actually in my favor. If I walk up to him, he will more likely than not stay asleep. But the math is a little bit fuzzy because these two guys are here too, and if one of them wakes up, they might start shouting. I have a suspicion that the best thing I can do, I think, is to dart this guy and then attack him if he's still alive, just with melee, because of how good my ox attacks are. And then I need to find a hallway. No gnolls in sight. Yeah, I know, right? And so the goal at that point, after he's dead, which I will probably survive long enough to kill a gecko, after he's dead, we probably run like either down this way or around if there's like a hallway. The goal is to find a pillar we can dance around. It's really too bad that these two guys are here. Alright, let's do it. Okay, he didn't die. We'll swing, he dies. That's great. I shouldn't have done that so quickly, by the way. I should have waited and taken a look at any shouts that I heard back. Now it says the kobold shouts, the goblin shouts. Nothing else shouted. So that matters. That means that chances are really good that nothing else is coming to tear my butthole apart. No, Flood Killer. The thing is that, or should I call you Flug Killer? The thing is that, like, octopodes have a shockingly good early game in terms of melee. Like, they can attack at speed 1, even without any unarmed combat. And my ox attack is so good. You notice I missed with my tentacle slap, my actual melee attack, and my grab missed, but I still got a squeeze attack, which just straight up killed him in one shot. He's a little bit softened up by the dart. So that's all right. Typically that's going to be, you're going to one-shot most things with your melee attacks, so this kind of nasty-ass start is really not as bad as it looks. It's quite bad, don't get me wrong. Also, we gained something crucial from training fighting up to 0.6. We've already gained 1 hit point, which doesn't really help us too much versus these guys, but it does give us a little bit of a bonus in terms of attacking. So why don't we just magic dart him, we killed him, great. Now we're out of mana. So we don't... If this was like a hallway, okay, if there was not stone here, I might run back in and close the door and then just keep the door closed while my mana comes back, and then I have a long way to walk. If things go really badly, if he gets random energy on me and he's right next to me and it's a problem, sadly this is a dead end. So, I think it's in my best interests to... Because I want to have some I guess you would call it like runway for me to take off. I think I want to go this way. Alright. This looks to me, this little area here, looks like something I could run around. That's a hobgoblin. I have no fear of him. He hasn't woken up. This is starting to look more like it's a dead end. So I'm going to move up and to the right. Okay. It was in fact a dead end. The idea was I don't want to take more hits than I absolutely have to. Up and to the right. We're going to swing on him and he dies. It may have been more optimal. Now that I think about it, it may have been more optimal for me to just go into this corner and fight for my life there. Because I kind of let him get right up next to me, and while the plan was to hit him, if he had, let's say the worst case scenario happens. I miss with all my attacks, my attack and my 2 ox attacks. He hits me, he does maximum damage, which was, what was he, a goblin? 4 plus 5, 9, minus 2 is 7. He does 7 damage to me. I'm down to, I had 12 at the time, so I'm down to 5 hit points. He can kill me in the next attack if something bad happens. And, yeah, Mr. Ostrom, you subtract 2 if a monster has a weapon for the max damage it can do. Alright, so if I'm down to 5 hit points and he's next to me, I start walking this way, and if anything else goes wrong, I'm boned. Like if another monster that's like, let's say a leopard gecko shows up, it's really, really bad, you know, so, if I had gone down like this away, I would have had a magic dart and then an attack, but I probably would have been like married to fighting him at that point, because otherwise it would be like, okay, I'm in this corner here, and he's here, and I'm here, so it's like I can't run away because he'll beat on me as I'm going. So I kind of purposefully chose the plan of action that gave me as many moves I think as possible to get away, and it worked out. Okay, I have no unarmed combat training, so what we're going to do is we're going to wield this dagger. I'm not going to talk about hotkeys at all during this session, even though it's going on my website, dungeoncrawlstonesoup.com, as a tutorial. This is going to be an advanced tutorial because this is an Octopode Conjurer. It doesn't get any more complicated than this. So we pick up the dagger, we wear it. The reason I'm doing that is because a dagger is much more accurate, all right, than my melee attack. And I still get my ox attacks even if I'm swinging with a weapon. And without any short blades training, I am still swinging at 1 speed. So I'm not sacrificing any speed. If I were to look at unarmed combat, I don't have any claws level, so my base damage is 3 plus UC skill. And my base accuracy is only +2. I think you get another +2 if you have any claws at all. So I'm getting way more accuracy with this dagger. It's going to do less damage, probably. Well, base damage is what? It said 3 plus? 3 plus UC skill. Yeah, so even the base damage is actually lower. And my kick-ass ox attacks, like I said, are totally unaffected. So we've just gotten a strict upgrade. Now, I'm low on mana. I don't really have a good little place to run around, but I don't know what kind of horrible nasties are this way, and I don't know what kind of horrible nasties are this way. I do know there's a hobgoblin here. I am just going to rest right where I stand. I press 5, get my mana back, and I think it's in my best interest to avoid the hobgoblin. Uh-oh, Kobold comes into view. And I'm avoiding the hobgoblin not because I'm afraid of him, but because I'm afraid of him as long as I don't have a column to dance around. I really want to find a column to dance around. He's only speed 10. After that, I'll run away from him all day and I'll feel pretty comfortable doing it. So another kobold, 5 plus 9. Interestingly enough, I can see now, this is a benefit to Trunk. I can't make fun of Ebbering all the time. Sometimes he does a good thing. I assume he's the one who did this. It is quivering 2 stones. That's new information. I don't think that was there before. So I know for a fact this little kobold asshole can throw stones at me for 2 damage plus his plus his base of 3. I don't know if the -2 applies to that. So he can either do 3 damage to me or 5 at range. Let's find out. He misses. Something I should have probably looked for is if he shouted. He did not. I think he merged it. Not sure if he's the author for that PR. It's a pretty rare thing for DCSS to take PRs from people who are not in their club. Anyway, I'm going to pick up these stones. Always pick up stones on D1 if you can, because now I have a nice, like an extra way to do damage to people at range. Now, it's a little less necessary for me because I'm a conjurer. I've already got a really sick way to do damage at range. But, you know, I may be out of mana. I may not want to spend my mana. By the way, this is a new spell. Actually, a lot of these things have changed since the last version, so I'm going to have to educate myself. Searing Ray, I think they ruined it somehow, if I remember correctly. We're going to find out. Oh, they didn't fix the description. The description has not changed. We're going to find out. The ray will follow the caster's target if it should move. Well, that's new. And Dazzling Flash is, I guess maybe it's the same as it used to be. We'll just play around with this and we'll find out what these spells do. Follows the target but doesn't increase. Okay, so it has been nerfed. Ah, what a shame. Searing Ray used to be quite good. I assume that's much worse now. All right, so we'll keep going this way. Again, we're in search. First thing, we're in search of something to dance around. Let's go ahead and kill this rat. Walk back. Remember all those really careful things I did on the Mibby that seemed unnecessary? Well, on a character like this, now it's super necessary. Get Poison skill book. It has Olgreb's Radiance and Ignite Poison. That does sound pretty good. All right, this is cool. Nice little treasure trove of things. There's a scroll here. A couple of rations. And now we have the vaunted thing to dance around. Okay? It's pretty good. By the way, I've still trained nothing but fighting this entire time, and that's on purpose. I would like to have, at a bare minimum, I want to have over 17 hit points. And as I leveled up, I've actually gotten there. And the reason I want over 17 hit points is because otherwise a priest, an orcish priest, can just straight up one-shot me at range, and that's really bad. And that's one of the reasons I train fighting straight away. Even though I'm a caster, I mean, look, my conjurations is already 4, man. and my stealth is above 2, which is a good little breakpoint. I think we will probably train that to 3 as well. And again, it's just because, like, you wonder why I train to breakpoints. It's because it doesn't actually raise in cost until you reach a breakpoint, so it makes sense to take it up to the next level. Plus, it's really quite cheap as an octopode. Okay, now that we're level 2, we can memorize Searing Ray. This is going to differ from start to start, from which book you get from, for example, like a Fire Elementalist in Trunk doesn't even have a level 2 spell. That may change when 0.25 actually comes out, I don't know. We're going to go ahead and memorize Searing Ray. So before, the way this worked is you would cast it, and then you would like wait, and you would it would cast it again, only with more damage the second time, and then the third time, even more damage. Now I guess it just seeks the target, which is horrible. Yeah, they did ruin Conjure Flame. Sadly, I mean, people are going to get introduced to the latest version of crawls, so these tutorials are going to have to be done from the standpoint of the of the newest version. Even if the devs are kind of pants on head about this stuff, if they're doing silly things, I'm just going to have to, if I'm going to bother to make tutorials for the game, I got to do it for the latest version, you know. Until a fork comes along, which is more popular. Alright, Hobgoblin, we'll just kill him. Rest up. Ordinarily, I'd be very happy to see a cloak, but octopodes cannot wear cloaks. So we keep going. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to kill this bat. I'm going to grab this spear. I'm not actually going to use it because it could be cursed, and it's attacking slower than my dagger. But there are scenarios where it might be useful. And I'll explain those if we find them, but the short answer is, like, if we were to find water, we could spear things from inside the water, although not super necessary on a character with spells, you know. Just pretend Trunk doesn't exist and it's a joke. Well, 20.25, you know. It's going to be hard to ignore that it exists. I mean, you certainly could. Oh boy, I should not have come in here. Okay, so this guy's dangerous. He can do a good 2d4 or 8 damage to me, 8, 16, 24. 3 shots, I'm dead. But he is slow, and we just dart him to death. If he had started doing some well and truly big damage bullshit to me, I would have simply walked away and closed the door, because slugs don't have hands. Dart. Dart. You notice I back off because I didn't want to fight the rat at the same time. He hadn't noticed me. That stealth is coming in handy. Cats have hands. Yeah, for some reason cats can open doors with their paws, but I've seen cats do that in real life, so it's not breaking my suspension of disbelief too hard. Alright, so now we have 2 scrolls, and we also have a potion over here. Cockroach is faster than me, but that's okay. Alright, we'll go ahead and cast Searing Ray just to show off what it does these days. This is another pure conjuration spell, so I'm getting plenty of juice out of my conjurations, my big conjurations training that I started with. Oh, that's got the big graphic. That's got the formerly you only got this graphic at the top level Searing Ray, which also, in addition to doing big damage, sort of bolted through your enemies. So I'm curious if it has an overall damage boost, or if that's just graphical. I'm going to have to look that up. Presumably, Searing Ray does more damage than... presumably it still does a lot more damage than Magic Dart. Hey, Ruff here. How you doing, buddy? That's what Wise Wolf was saying. Well, my reading comprehension is not all that great, so... you would think it would be awesome, given the streak, but... Alright, check it out. I am going to train a level of spellcasting. I'm feeling okay, to be honest, about my hit points now. A priest is not going to be able to one-shot me. I mean, honestly, I'd like to have more hit points still, but I want to be able to cast as many of these Searing Rays as possible, because that's going to let me kill things really fast. Also, I need more spell levels soon. And while you gain a spell level every time you level up, you also gain it the more spell casting you have. Although, I don't know. It does occur to me that I probably want more hit points more than anything right now. Okay. Oh, that's good, Flood Killer. I was annoyed about that problem. Killed the cockroach in one hit. Killed the kobold. Now we've got 3 potions, 2 scrolls. Or other way around, 2 potions, 3 scrolls. Sadly, no 2 stacks, so nothing to really do with that yet. I feel pretty confident, so we're going to start auto-exploring. Okay, so this is what happens when you auto-explore. you end up with a dude next to you. I'm just going to swing on him. Now, as an octopode, the cool thing is that he is now constricted. See that little thing at the top right? And if you look at the message down here, it says constricted by you. He's guaranteed to take damage every turn. He is virtually guaranteed to die next turn, so let's just swing on his ass. Because that just completely destroyed his evasion. And also, you know, in addition to me doing that guaranteed damage, that means I'm probably going to do more damage with my other attacks. We're going to get intelligence, I think. Yeah, that'll make me better at spells. Okay, so this guy's within range of our Searing Ray now, so casting. I'm pressing just the dot key to wait and make the Searing Ray keep casting after I cast it the first time. Okay, we've already got 1 more point of mana. That's good. And we gained a spell level from training that spell casting. So Dazzling Flash is an interesting one. It's our first piece of AoE. I am gonna learn it, although I'm probably not gonna actually use it that much, or I'm probably not gonna train any hexes. But just like capital M for memorize, and then I've memorized it. So if I go to cast it. Oh, whoops. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do that again. I wanted to show off the targeter, but it actually just... Wait. Oh, it's changed. Okay. Okay, it doesn't have a targeter anymore. Caster erupts in scintillating display of light. Any living creature nearby may be dazzled and left stumbling blindly. Alright, before it used to sort of blast out in a cone shape. Now it just, I guess, does stuff around you. Let's just cast it and see what it does. Okay, yeah. So it's just like honestly, it's the same targeter. How inspired. It's the same targeter as the Shining One's Cleansing Flame. So it just blows out in a box like this. And I guess it does what it always did, which is it can blind your enemy, which makes you effectively invisible to it. It doesn't... Wait, it doesn't deal damage? Is that what you're saying, Flood Killer? Is that true? That is awful. Okay. Probably won't be using that. Hello! Alright, so Ebbering is really pretentious, so he decided to change the name of shields in Trunk. This used to just be called a shield, now it's a kite shield. I'm just going to call it a shield because these kinds of name changes are just pointless. Really good item to find early on most characters. I probably don't want to use it on this guy because it's going to nuke my spell casting quite a lot. That wasn't Ebbering, that was Pleasing Fungus. Okay, we'll take one pretentious guy for another. It's pretentious no matter who did it. Credit where credit is due, I suppose. It's the same. I thought of Ebbering immediately because of because of the changes that was similar to the dumb pretentious names that the needles have, like Datura, instead of just calling it a blindness needle. Alright, so we found a lot of stuff. Sadly, we can't use the enchanted robe, whatever it is, nor any of this other stuff. Technically, I could wear some of these weapons, but I'm actually quite happy with my dagger. We have a 2-stack here. I am not going to go downstairs. Well, okay, fair enough, Flood Killer. I could see it being changed to like medium shield or something, but it's kind of like why fix what's not broken. All right, so anyway, I'm not going to go downstairs before identifying this 2-stack. The reason for that, in the current version of Crawl, and this remains true for Trunk, if I go downstairs, I could be teleported anywhere. You know, I could be shafted anywhere. I want to know what my resources are. So while going downstairs and using this might be clever if that risk wasn't there, because it could be, let's say, mapping, I am way more interested in having resources known to me. It turns out that it's identify. We're going to identify a potion. Sadly, it's this dumbass new potion of stabbing, formerly potions of agility. Possibly the worst idea for a potion ever. You'll notice that I am identifying my potions first. That's because I would really... What I primarily want is curing, actually, because there's a lot of enemies in the early game. The most dangerous enemies, in fact, can cast Confuse on you. And being able to turn that off with a curing potion, super, super good. Also, there are many resources like Berserking, Might, and Tree Form, which is also called Lignification. Things like that will get you out of bad situations. There are scrolls that'll get you out of bad situations too, but you cannot use scrolls while you're confused. You can use potions while you're confused. This stupid-ass thing is very much new to the game in Trunk. All it does is make you better at stabbing things whenever you have a stabbing opportunity. We're going to see if we can make some use out of this, I guess, but, I mean, technically, we are set up in such a way that we could on this character because I have Dazzle Flash. Like, if I were to... Oh, hey, people are already talking about that. Perpetual Blur, I guess it makes sense to you, but you've been the big proponent of this potion. He hates this thing less than I do. I think it's overpowered as hell. Although I think we have some agreement that it's overpowered. Anyway, on this particular character, because we can blind things with Dazzle Flash, technically we could do that, pop a potion, and then have a really good chance of stabbing things to death. Maybe I'll make use of that tech, but more likely, if I'm not backed into some kind of corner, I'm probably not going to do that. However, now that that's an option, I guess I will train a little bit of hexes. It's really, really inexpensive as far as cost is concerned. Look, the cost is only 1 compared to it's five times harder to train conjurations. It's very cheap to train a little bit when you have none at all. So we'll take that to 1. We'll start training that. Okay, let's are we going to go down? Are we going to go down? Do we have anything else we can do? I could wear my shield. I'm not doing that because I don't even want to see what it does to my casting because it could be cursed. If I was sure that wasn't cursed, I might put it on just to see, like, gee, how bad does this make my casting? But since I don't know. Alrighty, okay, so here's what's probably optimal nowadays, sad to say. If I take a step anywhere, I could be teleported, alright? I don't know what's beyond this staircase, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shout. You hear an angry hiss, you hear a shout X3. Okay. Stuff is coming. I know that I can fight it at range. We're going to choose to try to take down the Quokka first, because he is fast. We miscast Magic Dart. Dart. Okay, there's an adder coming. We probably don't want to fight the adder. Okay, so we do Searing Ray. And we aimed it at the Quokka, right? But the Quokka was behind the Kobold, so it hit the Kobold first. I imagine there was a chance to miss. Magic Dart cannot miss, but Searing Ray technically can, unless something has changed. I'm out of mana, though. Gary Burton got scared about the big streak and chose an op combo. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I would say that it certainly is op as in Octopode, but definitely not overpowered. Alright, okay, so this adder is really scary to us. Like, ordinarily, sure, we could kill him. If we had max range, we could probably kill him pretty easily with Magic Dart, because it's guaranteed to hit. And his evasion is his big defense, but because we're out of mana, I really don't want to end up in melee with him. I have a little bit of a get out of jail free card in terms of the fact that I have heal wounds, but let's just throw a rock and go up. We'll drag this Quokka up with us, and we'll just beat the hell out of him in melee. We got very unlucky. Look at all those attacks with no Ox attack. He still died though. Okay. We're going to go... Okay, so I chose this staircase because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles next to it. This one only has 2. If we go down and there's stuff next to me, I could get surrounded. Much less likely to have that happen here, so let's go down. And oh god, we've got a problem. Sigmund the Dreaded. On D2. This is one of those guys I told you about. He's got that confused, right? And when this happened on my Mibby, it was easy because I could just use Trog's Hand and have enough MR to not get confused, alright? He can also he can kill me in 2 hits, like 2 throw flames and I'm done. If he gets max damage, 15 damage twice, I'm dead. Horribly dangerous, 53% chance to confuse if he decides to cast it. It's just really, really bad for me to try to engage this guy. If I absolutely had to, I could potentially Dazzle Flash and I'd use this dumb potion and maybe get him. I'm just gonna go up, dude. He made himself invisible. That's fine. Alright, we'll try this staircase now. I'm also gonna press 5 once. I'm gonna eat a ration because I have quite a few. We're gonna go back down this staircase and see what we got. Alright, this is close to the first staircase. I may dive right to D3, as dangerous as it is, because we know that Sigmund is here, and we have no particularly reliable way to deal with him. If I had a nice stack of curing potions, even like 2 curing potions, I may try my luck, or I may have tried my luck, but I don't have that. But we need to deal with first things first. Let's dart this dude. I wonder if I should be Searing Raying him at this point now that he's close enough. Or magic darting. His evasion is quite good. We will Searing Ray. Okay, it hit. It was a little risky. Like I said, unless something has changed, it could have missed him. On the other hand, because I'm seeing that it's the big boy graphic from before, I'm not sure if that could miss. Maybe Wise Wolf can tell me. That's Perpetual Blur in my chat here. I'm sure he's done code diving on this more recently than me. But I do know for a fact that Magic Dart's guaranteed to hit the adder. Alright, so let's rest. I'm staying on staircases for a reason. And the reason is that I know Sigmund is here somewhere around the floor. If he confuses me, the consequences of that is that all I can do is move. That's one thing I can do, and it may not go where I want it to go. Like if I press up, I may go down. I can drink a potion. I cannot read scrolls, and I cannot cast spells. But I can go upstairs, and there's a chance for that to fail. But it's pretty cool because he's got a scythe, right? So he'll never get up next to me. So I can just keep trying to go upstairs until I'm either dead or I'm upstairs away from him. What's more important, Sigmund knows you are here. He doesn't know I'm at this location. He's wandering the level now. It's safe-ish to check around the other upstairs. Sort of. He may be heading this way. If I were to go next to this hallway, let's say here, and he confuses me right here, that would be a big issue. What if he knows? I'm gonna go to this staircase. Didn't find anything. He wants to play a game. I'm more inclined to lure his ass over here by shouting a bunch. Okay, that was cool. This is a little risky what I'm doing. Okay, this is all right. Okay, he shouted, but there wasn't a shout back. I feel pretty safe from Sigmund as long as I'm on a staircase. Okay, that hobgoblin had a scroll. Sadly, it's not a 2-stack. He wants to play a game. Oh man, Fulminate Prism would be pretty good against him. Oh, we got hexes to 1. Okay, so bearing in mind that Fulminate Prism, so this is where spells really start to. I'm going to talk a little bit about spell schools. Alright, so something with one spell school is the easiest to train, because you only have to train Conjuration, right? I would have to train, if I train like 4 Conjuration for or let's say I trained, 4 Conjuration to get Searing Ray to a certain amount of spell power. I would have to train 4 Conjuration and 4 Hexes to get the same amount of spell power and accuracy on Dazzling Flash. Assuming that the 2 were the same level, which they aren't, but just, bear with me. Looking at my starter spells as a Conjurer, again, subject to change, I guess, if they decide to mess with it more. If I press capital M to get to my spell book, I started with my spells that I have memorized, and then I also have Fulminant Prism, which is part Hexes, and Iskenderun's Mystic Blast, which is part Translocations. The new Searing Ray is quite strong. Yeah, I don't hate it, actually, because it seems like it does more base damage than the old. Am I aware of the new IMB? I am not aware of the new IMB. I guess I should read the description, huh? Just hit exclamation point for describe, press B. Detonates a crackling sphere of destructive energy. The explosion will hit all nearby monsters with physical force, knocking them back if damage is done. So they merged it with Force Lance? Is that the meme here? This used to be just a Conjuration spell, so the fact that it's Translocation now as well. Interesting. Okay. I thought they took IMB out and replaced it with Force Lance, but it looks like they just took out Force Lance and merged it with IMB, which is kind of the same thing, I guess. Anyway, I am going to train a bit of Hexes, and the reason is that Fulminant Prism is really good, unless they've changed that too on me. We're gonna find out. Looks the same to me. It's essentially just Summon Bomb, the spell. And it would be really handy in this situation, but sadly... Oh, and here's the skinny on this. Like, if I were to do Memorize, if I look at this and the failure rate is not gray, especially if it's dark red, you really don't want to cast it, because you could have a horrible miscast. I don't even really want to cast Dazzle Flash at this level of failure rate, but it's gray, so that means I'm very unlikely to get a miscast on it, even if I do fail. Okay, let's shout a bit. Shout a few times. I'm very scared of Sigmund. Okay. It's a bit of a dead end. You hear a shout. You hear a shout, you hear an angry hiss, that's fine. I just want to lure stuff to me. I'm trying to get as much experience as possible. Reach level 4. Cool. There he is. So we could try to be cute here. Like, we could try to magic dart his ass. He's only got a robe on, and I can see that here. I think he's guaranteed to have a robe. But it's just a +0 robe, so his AC's garbage. Doesn't matter what his evasion is, because the dart will hit. But it only does, like, honestly, if I look at Magic Dart, let's... 1d8 damage at max power. So we're looking at, like, let's say average damage. Let's just assume we have max power. We're looking at 4 damage every time. That's a lot of that's like 8 times. That's like 8 Magic Darts. So we're not going to kill him, 4 Magic Darts if we were to max our damage every single time. Let's drink a potion of brilliance to cast Fulminant Prism, then you want to have Spellhunger. Oh yeah, they nerfed brilliance too. God, everything in this game is getting worse. Anyway, once you got close enough, we could try to Searing Ray him, and then that'd be alright, I guess, but like, it's a real risky... It's risky business, because at any moment he could just bust out 15 damage on me, and the next turn as I try to get away, he could confuse me. I don't even feel particularly good about being next to him like this at full health. I'm going to go up. And the thing is, if he confuses you while you're going up can fail, But now that we're sure that he's over there, at least for the next few turns, not only was he right there, he's pretty likely to start walking in this direction rather than towards me. So I feel okay. As long as nothing makes noise, like this rat. Grab this. Hey, 2 scrolls. Okay, goblin shouts, you hear an angry hiss. That's a good indicator that we want to get to a staircase. This goblin has a hunting sling, so we're going to beat his ass. We're going to rest. Leopard gecko. Just swing on him. Rest. Jackal. This is my base of operations, alright? This is my fortress of solitude, this staircase. Nothing can do much to me as long as I'm on it. I really want... Okay. There's a couple things I want. First of all, notice how we got a second scroll. I probably would like to use that now. Also, there's a certain amount of information revealed here. If I look at this scroll on the ground, I see that it's called Lakzai-Poon Hampu. And while that's a randomly generated name, I can compare that to scrolls already in my inventory. So I know that I'll have another 2-stack if I pick that baby up. We are going to read this scroll right now, this 2-stack. If that had been teleport, guaranteed we would have time to go upstairs. So we would just do that. The reason I used it here is because it could have been magic mapping, which would give me some pretty crucial information, which would potentially be really, really helpful on this floor. I still don't really have resources that make me feel particularly safe versus our boy Sigmund. I want to walk over, like I really want to get this sling, I really want to get this scroll, and I'm going to do that, but I'm going to feel really bad about doing it. Alright, we have it. I'm not going to bother with the sling, I already have ranged. If Sigmund wasn't wandering around, I would grab it as a matter of course, but he is. So let's read this scroll too. It's Amnesia. This goes all the way back to, like, I guess Dungeons and Dragons, Final Fantasy 1, like anything with the God, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a particular type of magic system where it's like you get a certain number of spell levels. This is ancient stuff. We're talking like D&D 1st and 2nd edition. 3.5 as well, actually. And yeah, there you go, Vancian magic, that's what I was thinking of. Where you have a certain number of spell levels, that's what you saw me gaining by both leveling up and by training spellcasting. And I can cast Amnesia to forget a spell, freeing up those spell levels, which I can then rememorize that spell or any other, as long as I have enough spell levels free. Now, we don't want to use this. I'm just going to press escape, really abort and waste the scroll, yes. So we know that we have a scroll of Amnesia. Pretty disappointing. The remove curse is going to be handy later. I could try on my kite shield, I suppose. Amnesia, not very useful to me right now at all. What I would have liked to have seen is like blink, you know, teleport, fear especially. Maybe silence even. But that's okay. Let's shout a bit. I'm just shouting over and over. We did hear a shout back at one point. This is a jackal. We'll just kill him. Keep shouting. There is a small risk here of something very bad happening, which is if Sigmund were to... no, it's not possible. I mean, he could go here, but there's no way for him to just... Like, he could come up from around this corner, in theory, and end up right next to me. But he's not right next to me. He's not here. So he won't come up the stairs with me if that happens. He'll just be closer than I'd like. So there's no chance of true disaster here. Well, the true disaster, I suppose, would be if he were to do that and then confuse me. Yeah, well, that's just the risk I've got to take. I've got enough hit points that I feel really confident that I will, most likely scenario, be able to get upstairs before he kills me. I might not feel so confident if I didn't have this potion of heal wounds, but with that said, I feel like the devil I know is a little better. Insofar as, like, I could find my way down to D3. But who knows what's on D3? There could be a pack of orc priests on D3 waiting to give me the old what for. Alright, so I've walked over here. I was going to grab the... Yeah, I was going to grab the sling, exactly, Gary Burton, but we've run into a worm who is very slow. Just give him the Searing Ray. He dies. We'll rest here. No shout back, like Gary Burton says, means that we can probably grab this sling. Turns out there's also a scroll here. Hold up. Okay, good. Grab the sling. walk back to our staircase. I would have been very concerned if Sigmund showed up while I was fighting that adder. Very concerned. It may have been more optimal for me to run back to the staircase, and the problem with that is the adder would have gotten several tiles on me, but it's better than being perma-confused next to an adder, I have to say. Alright, so we actually know that the sling is not cursed because it was worn by a goblin before. So we might use that, we might not. I'm going to keep my dagger on for now because we have plenty of ranged options. Alright, here's our boy. This is Trunk Dynamo, so we're going to have a few new spells, new spell situations that I'm going to have to basically learn about as I explain it. This is going to be on my website as a tutorial. Oh, hey, Raga, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you as well, Dynamo. I don't know if I said that. And everyone else. Alright, so I really, really want to kill Sigmund. I would feel so great about killing Sigmund right now because you get a lot of experience. But again, it's like 50% confused. It's just not worth it. And that best case scenario with the magic dart isn't even really possible because I don't even have max power with it, see? Honestly, probably the most reliable way to kill him would be to let him get close and then do something like Searing Ray him or Dazzle Flash, you know. So essentially what I'm doing here, you can sling him first. I'm not gonna sling him, and I'll tell you why. While I do have sling bullets, and I would do a fair amount of damage to him even without sling training, the fact that I have no sling training means I will sling at slower than 1 speed. So that technically gives him the opportunity to beat my ass twice in a row with a flame, throw flame, which, like I said, does 3d 5 damage, right? So worst case scenario, I sling him, I die instantly because he throws flame twice and I take full damage. And that may sound neurotic or paranoid, but that's the thing, man. Like when you're trying to streak DCSS, you always have to assume the worst case scenario is exactly what's going to happen. And you have to sort of... Yeah, Searing Ray is the right... Lack of a targeted nuke. Oh, I see you're responding to Dynamo. I was going to say, I think Searing Ray is... If I had to fight Sigmund, it would be the most reliable way to deal with him right now. But really, I'm just trying to soak up as much experience and items from D2 as I safely can before skipping and dealing with Sigmund. I'm fearful of D3 is the only reason I haven't gone down, because of the trap system, because I could go down and immediately see a pack of priests, that can kill me in one shot. If there's 2 priests, that's actually 17 plus 17 damage, 27 plus 34 damage. That's enough to kill me. It's just like really dangerous. In fact, going down this hallway is dangerous. I shouldn't do that. Let's shout it a bit. I didn't hear a shout back. Shout here. If I could get like 1 more level, it would be really great. I'm training nothing but hexes now, getting that up to 2. By the way, I just wanted to show off, octopodes are actually a great race to learn spellcasting or spells on if you're at kind of an intermediate to expert level. And the reason is because if I were to show all skills here, they have flat aptitudes everywhere. There's nothing they suck at. They're good at everything. 0 is pretty average to good. In fact, they're actually quite good at poison magic, and they're amazing at stealth. But like Draconians are the same way, like you can learn anything. So if you're trying to learn spells and you don't want to be particularly shoehorned into a particular thing, you may want to try octopodes. But it's more of an advanced race in terms of the fact that their defenses are terrible, Okay, so I'm not getting shouts back, so I feel okay about going over here. But man, he's somewhere. Okay, he's not coming. But he could be lurking. And the problem is, anytime I take a step towards him, he could be, he could confuse me as soon as I walk into his sight range. Alright, we have 2 staircases now. I'm going to try my luck. Okay, I go down. A little bit of bad luck here is a magic cloak. Sadly, we're too much of an octopode to wear that. Okay, if I take any steps, I could be teleported, so we're going to shout from here. Bat comes into view, good, free experience. Ooze comes into view, good, free experience. Hexes has reached 2. How are we doing on Dazzle Flash? 14%, that's not bad. How are we doing on Fulminant Prism? I really want to get Fulminant Prism online. At first, it's funny, I said I wasn't going to train Hexes, but I had just forgotten that Fulminant Prism is in the Conjurer starting book. A lot of playing a caster has to do with knowing the spells and knowing how good they are. Alright, okay, we'll rest, we'll shout some more. Nothing wants to come. Now I could take that upstairs, but I could end up right next to our boy, right? Uh-oh! This is one of the worst things we could have found. So there's an Orc Wizard here. There's a chance he just has Confuse and can end my life immediately if he gets that on me and I get unlucky enough. And more importantly, he may have a Priest behind him. So we're going to take a step up. I knew he wouldn't be able to see me. Take a step here, take a step here. Doot, 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 doot. We'll rest. Just shout. I guess our stealth is so good that he lost track of us. That's annoying. Actually, I wanted him to follow me. Okay, you hear a shout. Go back here. I'm trying to lure him. Ideally not the rest of his pack, but I'll take him if I can. If I have to. If it's possible. So you guys are discussing spells. If I only train Hexes, using Prism would take 7 to 8 Hexes. I plan on training both Conjurations and Hexes. Remember what I said about how if you have a 2-school spell, then it takes both into account equally. What that means is if you have the same aptitude in both, it makes sense to train both at the same time as long as they are already at the same value. Dazzle Flash seems incredibly dumb now, but I guess I would say that Searing Ray is less interesting than it used to be, but more powerful. So if you think that it was not strong enough before, then it's good. Ironically, I think it's less tactical now than it used to be. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is good. I'm happy to see an Iguana. It's our first big boy. He does 15 damage, but he's only speed 10, so I feel totally good about just beating his ass here. Swing, he dies. It was a little risky for me to just swing on him there, because he could have hit me for 15, and then I would have been in a situation where my only way to guarantee my survival would be to suck down a potion of heal wounds. What I probably should have done there, instead of just going for pure damage, is I probably should have Dazzle Flashed him from like 2 squares away. Alright, let's rest. And then I would have gone for the stab or simply gone upstairs if it failed. But it's a little risky for me to go upstairs, because even though it was clear when we went down, what's-his-face, you know, Sigmund could be right there waiting for me. So it's just a risk that I'm taking by luring stuff to the staircase. I don't even want to go to this staircase, because 1, we don't know where it leads, and 2, Sigmund or any other bad thing could be right there. Okay, the Orc pack has to be gone, because I'm shouting, and I'm getting nothing back. Here, a shout X3. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I waited 100 turns. That's what 5 does. If you're fully healed already. And nothing came. My stealth level is certainly doing its job. Okay, here's shout X2. Are they actually going to come? There, okay, there it is. An ordinary orc. So we walk away. He's got a big boy axe, a war axe, and ring mail. So he knows about us. He's not going to stop chasing us. It should be okay to just Searing Ray him. He dies really easily. Alright, cool. Hey, Frozen Zerker, how you doing, buddy? We are doing a caster tutorial. Alright, so we're on the staircase. Here's the Orc Wizard. We don't know what book he has, but he very well could have Confuse. You can think of Orc Wizards pretty much as the same thing as Sigmund, only more dangerous because they will follow you upstairs. However, they do a little less damage, 3d4. Well, actually, no, their Throw Flame can do 3d5 damage, so same situation, but we can't be two-shotted anymore because we have 34 hit points. More importantly, these guys have half the hit points of Sigmund. So let's just beat his ass with Magic Dart. And oh, there it is. There's the Confuse. So we start going up. You trip and fall back down the stairs, taking 1 damage in the process. Go up. It finally works. You're too confused to move. That's the message I got when I tried to move. Sometimes that happens. We'll go up here to the floor we know is safe. We'll rest, get our mana back. And, yeah. This is interesting now. We have an interesting choice. If I go down, I could get confused immediately. I could be right next to the orc. We know what book he has now. He could go invisible. If he goes invisible and gets a confuse on us, it's pretty much GG. It's very unlikely that we'll come back from that. The confused, we could drink a potion of healing and maybe survive long enough to kill him, you know, for the confused to just naturally end. But it's a huge risk. I don't really want to go down there. I would do it if I knew for a fact he would be at max range, but he, you know, the game could just decide to screw me over. You know, and for all I know, he may have a priest boyfriend, a priest friend right behind him somewhere who's like, hey, what's up, buddy? I come down, I get confused immediately, I take 17 damage at the same time, and it's just a whole clusterfuck that I don't want to deal with. So, what we're going to do instead is we're going to try our luck with door number 2 here. Alright, this is interesting. I'm going to shout from here. Didn't get teleported, which is good. A little more shouting. We haven't seen anything too terrifying for D3. I mean, I hate the fact that we might very well be having a priest situation. I hate the fact that an orc pack spawned. But, you know, it's not Grinder, you know? What are you saying now? Searing Ray tracks targets that go invis? Oh, that's useful, but it's not gonna help me if I get confused. I seriously doubt it'll let me keep casting Searing Ray while I'm confused. Okay, I shouted for a while and I found nothing, so we're just gonna try our luck. And there's our boy. Let's see if it's the same boy. That is the same boy. You know how we know? It's not showing me a list of books. There's actually two reasons we know this is not our guy. Number one, it's the same, you know, it only shows us the one book. That means we've identified him. Number two, it doesn't say an orc wizard comes into view down here. It only does that the first time you see him. Also, yeah, the +1 dagger of freezing gives it away, which will be a nice little prize for us. Shout, you hear Shout X3, so we know for a fact he's got Corn Pop and his bad boys. You know, he's got all of his boys behind him. So we're going to do what Joe Biden did, and we're going to go to the staircase. We're going to see if we can defeat Corn Pop over here. Alright. Anybody who gets this reference, good. Otherwise, I just sound like I'm insane. So we're just darting him, you know. Darting him. Look, all that damage. The only reason I'm sticking around in this fight is because I have the heal wounds. This would be... I would have actually gone upstairs after the first dart. Or, well, 2 puffs of flame. Because right now, he could do 15 damage and take me next to death. But I feel pretty confident. I wish he would step forward. Good. Now we'll just Searing Ray him. Good. Now we rest. Sadly, he didn't leave a corpse for me to eat, but he did leave this thing. This is more accurate. We know it's not cursed, and it will do a little bit of extra damage with the freezing. Not as much as we'd like, because daggers are low damage, you know. And freezing is based on your existing amount of damage that you're doing. But hey, that's good. Here, Shout. Oh, God. The worst case scenario. Holy shit. That is Grinder. With his 59% paralyze. Okay, that's really bad. Game face, boys. We gotta unfuck the situation. Alright. So there's a couple things we could do here. We know for a fact we want to walk away to start with, because that was going to remove the line of sight issues, right? I could just wait here, and we could try to dazzle flash him. But that's pretty damn risky. I think what I'm going to do instead, I mean, my problem is that, like, you're probably wondering, because I know I'm wondering, you know, like, let's just look at Dazzleflash. What's the chance, bro? What's the chance of it actually affecting something? And I happen to know, or at least I'm pretty sure it's hit dice based, like it's a comparison of your spell power, I think, to their hit dice. If I look at Grinder, I don't think Grinder has that much in the way of hit dice. 6, that's twice as much as a wizard, orc wizard, twice as much as a Sigmund. We're not very likely, I don't think, to Dazzleflash him. So I think we just walk away. And sadly, like, he is gonna... I think he's gonna get a turn. Oh, no he's not. Alright, dodged. Okay, so if I look down here, and if you don't know, I'm going into map mode by pressing Shift and X, and I'm pressing right bracket to look down here to see the layout. The staircase we're on leads here where Grinder is, and the other staircase leads over here. So it's pretty safe for me to look around the other staircase, especially since we know that the wizard that was there is gone. But boy, this floor is dangerous. Don't polymorph Grinder. Yeah, he'll usually, well, he'll probably become like an Iron Imp or something, but he could very well become an Executioner, which would be quite bad. Let's wait for this guy to get next to us. Then Searing Ray him. Crap. Hey, buddy. Slap him around. Hey, there's our corpse. And we picked up the potion of, it's a bubbling green potion. Sadly, no way to identify that other than to drink it. And it's worth keeping in mind that every time you drink a potion, you're running a big risk in the early game, because it could very well be mutation, and you could get something that would downright ruin your game. So I try not to drink. I try not to drink ID potions. I do my very best. If I have a 2-stack and I haven't identified anything yet, I'll generally run the risk, because I think the math works out really well in your favor for a variety of reasons. But that's not the case right now. There's no reason for me to drink this. The only reason would be if it was like a potion of experience, which is just so rare that it's probably not going to happen. All right, we're going to go up. Because of Grinder, it's suddenly in my interests to try to give D2 the old college try again. Because, like, I could probably defeat Sigmund. Oh, Grinder is way worse than Sigmund for this guy. No question. If I get paralyzed, my evasion goes to 0. Whereas if I get confused, that does not happen. I would just die if Grinder was next to me and I got paralyzed. There's almost no chance of surviving that. It'd be very, very bad anyway. Sigmund, he takes like 3 shots. Best case scenario, unless he's hitting me with his scythe, he cannot kill me in more than less than 3 shots. So there we go. Okay, so it is true that his scythe does 20 damage, so he could hit me for 25. What I think we're gonna do, unfortunately Dazzleflash won't hit him. I'm gonna Searing Ray him. Alright, I'm gonna Dazzleflash now. He is confused. Or dazzled, I guess. We'll drink our potion of stabbing. Doo-doo. Whoa, hello. He hits me with the scythe. Potion of stabbing sucks ass. I thought it was guaranteed. I guess not. Well, he has a chance to instantly kill me here. Because he could do 25 damage, so we have to drink our heal wounds. I probably should be testing this potion out, not on a streak game. Attack again. Do no damage. The stab potion is still active. Alright, so we just... Okay, technically we did not risk death because I healed and I had over 25 hit points, and then I was at 24 when he hit me the next time. But he couldn't actually do 25. He could do 25 minus 2, which is 23. So technically I took no risks there. But I did actually do a horrible thing insofar as I've wasted my only resources, right? Really not good. Let's grab the scythe. We know it's not cursed, at least. However, I spent those resources for a good reason, which is that I now have I have made D2 explorable. So I don't feel too bad about it, but we could have done that without using the healing potion. I wanted to see if stabbing was as dumb in the early game as I think it is, or as I thought it was. And now there's no question in my mind that, like, the fact that it's not 100% of the time, it's way worse than agility. Mello Stanton, hello, welcome to the stream. Yes, I do. I actually have a fiance, which I guess is a type of girlfriend. I don't know how that came up. Oh, is your name Malcolm or Dusty? I'm new to the stream. Dusty's my pen name, and I just go by Malcolm Rose for streams and stuff. I know I have a lot of names. Neither of those is my real name. You can call me either of those things. It's fine. Alrighty. His real name is Fred. That's true. Anyway, oh man, what do we want to do next? We're just going to explore this floor. Oh god, this dumb vault spawned. This is a really silly vault that probably shouldn't exist. I thought it was taken out of the game, but I guess not. Die instantly if you go into that area. Okay. Well, not always, but at this point in the game with 40 some hit points, I mean, it's a bad situation. What's a good choice of god for this guy? See, that's a good question. I just realized that is our first altar choice. I should probably talk about gods a bit. People think when they're new to the game that you've gotta go for Vehumet or you've gotta go for Sif Muna if you're a caster, which is really a bad sort of thought process to get into, because it's like, yeah, they're caster gods, but you can make pretty much anything work for a caster god, and any god that's powerful under other circumstances is going to be powerful for a caster in general. Like, for example, Gozag, who is great for everybody, you could also buy books on him. Ashenzari, sure, just generically sort of makes you more powerful on everything, because you get +5 skills on whatever you want, basically, as long as you curse the right stuff. It's true that Sif Muna and Vehumet are going to be the most straightforward gods, probably, for a caster, because while you can buy books on Gozag, it's just you're guaranteed to get spells on Vehumet, and you're guaranteed to get spells on Sif Muna. Like, the most... yeah, Ash is kind of weird for octopodes, for sure. So the most... lost my train of thought. For Vehumet, we're going to be going for, like, it would be destructive spells, conjurations, fire, ice, earth, whatever. I don't really like Vehumet. I think Vehumet really, if you're going to play him, he really encourages you to play more as a hybrid, because his main thing that he does for you outside of giving you spells is he gives you mana back when you kill stuff. But you don't really get enough back to justify it unless you're also killing stuff without using mana points. And summons don't count, as far as I remember, so you'd pretty much have to be meleeing things. And plus, the spells that Vehumet gives you, like I said, are purely destructive, so some of the best spells in the game are like certain necromancy spells, certain summoning spells, and certain transmutation spells. While you can play a sort of what they call a blaster caster, it's not really ideal in this game. And yeah, that's true. Vehumet does let you cast stuff sooner than you otherwise would be able to. Only if it's a destructive spell, so you can't get summons, you can't get, like, extra chance to cast summon spells or Transmutations, it's got to be something that does damage directly. And it does give you one more piece of range. You know, this character really needs help as early as possible, like right now. Obviously, he's having a bit of a problem. I go down here, there's Grinder, it's an issue. But the other thing is, like, Vehumet's not going to give me any of that help immediately. The first spell he's going to give me is probably going to be garbage. Best case scenario, it's going to be, I don't know, Shock. That would be a nice one. Freeze would be pretty good. Could be Throw Flame, it could be Sting, you know, and he's not even going to give me that until I kill several things upon picking him. But it's not even really an option, because the altar has spawned beneath this sort of bullshit Cloud of Flame. I'm not going to run the risk of taking, I think it's 3d20 damage, which would run the risk of killing me instantly. Cloud of Flame. Okay. It doesn't really say. It's somewhere around here. 10 to 32 damage. There we go. Cloud damage. 10 to 32 damage of player. So, you know, 2 hits from that and I'm just dead. So, even if I was willing to consider Vehumet, which I don't think I would do in any event on this character or pretty much any other, it's just too risky to try to dive into this flame. Like, you can time it, but technically you could pay my rent through Twitch donations. I feel like Twitch would get an enormous an enormous cut of that. Yeah, fire, it's only, well, not every time, Mr. Austin. That's just like a special vault that sort of, you know, spawns sometimes. It's specific to Vehumet. Yeah, in this vault, right? It's a real, that's why I'm saying it's a really silly vault, because it's one of those things you can't safely grab the god immediately, even if you wanted it. And I think it's especially silly because Vehumet is what you might call a subpar, like substandard kind of god. But the problem is that yeah, I mean, it's just, there's no good reason to go for Vehumet, and because this is a tutorial, because this is also a streak game, I'm going to be playing and doing the things that are as optimal as possible, so we're not going to go Vehumet. Now, if somebody like bribed me into doing it, if it was like a game for fun, something like that, maybe I would consider it, but it just doesn't make sense in the current, you know, situation. It's a glowing dagger on the ground. It could be something really good, like Venom would be the best for us right now. It could be Cursed, it could be Disto, which would be annoying. Yeah, we can grab the poison darts, I guess we should. Although it's not ideal with no throwing skill. And it doesn't do anything for us against Grinder, which is what I'm really afraid of. Alright, Scroll of Identify. We're going to identify the potion. Really, really hoping. I was hoping it was Lignify. It's actually Curing, which is, well, you know, it's okay. It's good to see Curing, but it's not going to help us against Grinder that much. Obviously, Curing does not bail your ass out of paralysis. But I'll take it. I would have preferred to have Tree Form, though. Alright, we don't have any more 2-stacks except for Amnesia, which is not going to help us, so can't really read scrolls to get a hand. Let's try this dagger on. It is just a Cursed +0 dagger, so I might as well wear the Kite Shield, since it could be Cursed too. It wasn't. Read the scroll of Remove Curse. We're going to take off the Kite Shield. We're going to drop this dagger. I would have been okay with it being a Disto dagger. It's fine to have on for this type of character, you know. But I was hoping it was Venom, which would have made future floors easier. Should be called Heater Shields, Kite Shields, or Large Shields. Yeah, I don't pretend to be like a shield expert, but I just would have called it a medium shield, you know. In a game like this, I don't think that level of fluff is really necessary when they've just been called shields for, you know, years. People got confused and thought they gave RC+. Oh, God. Yeah, no, that's a real name for a shield, isn't it? A heater. I know about that. I know enough to know that's a thing. I don't know the shape. Alright, so what I'd love to do is just skip this floor, but we haven't actually found a legitimate downstair yet. So we're going to shout here and there. See if we get shouts back. A 0 flail, huh? Snow corpse. Hey, it's Chabriatos. Yeah, see, nice descriptive things. That's where I'm at. Like, you know, look at this dart. What a nice dart. Poison dart. I know exactly what it does. It's poison. Makes sense. Sure, really simple. Then I see something like deterrent, and unless I know what the deterra plant does in real life, I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell does this do? I gotta read the description. Why don't you just call it a blindness dart? You know? That's a fair point, Perpetual Blur. That's the argumentum ad. This is the way it's been for a while. I'll admit that's not the best argument, but I stand by my position that just doing things in a very simple, descriptive way, rather than trying to get fancy about it, is generally the better choice, unless you're trying to write a book, you know, trying to be as fancy as possible. Maybe it might make sense, you know. Alright, so this is Che. Very powerful god, and very weak at the same time. Che is the optimal god for something. Maybe not winning, but definitely something. It's the best, most optimal god for LARPing as blokes. I mean, he would give me an immediate power boost, alright? In some ways. He would give me better stats. He would probably raise my chances of killing Grinder, which is my immediate, you know, my immediate fear right now, right? But I don't know. The problem is that when I move while I'm worshipping Che, it's gonna make me a very slow boy. So that's very dangerous. I would never go Che unless you really, 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 really know what you're doing. Might be the optimal god for a real-time speedrun where you'd get a vamp. Oh yeah, well, speedruns, the typical logic for, like, when I say optimal, I'm always talking about win rate. I'm definitely not talking about any kind of real-time speedrun or turn count speedrun. Che would be best for turn count for sure. What's a good idea to start a streak? Well, if you're going for easy runs, probably a Mibby, you know? But there is the logic of, like, starting with something really hard and random, like some kind of, maybe like a Felid Chaos Knight, getting that out of the way, and then you're like, oh, I got bragging rights, I have a CK in my streak. Anyway, we're hunting for downstairs, and hey, we found some. Oh, God. Alrighty. So we have another unique. A lot of really early uniques today. Yeah, a lot of really early uniques. Ajib the Twisted Goblin. Hit for 4+ club. Wand of Flame. So I should be happy that he doesn't have Aster Clouds, as Donanimo says, or more scarily perhaps like Paralysis or I don't know, Disintegrate would be horrifying. We can work with this as long as our boy Grinder doesn't show up in the wand. If we can kill him fast enough, the wand may even let us kill Grinder a little more easily. I think what we're gonna do. We're going to shout. Here's shout X2. That's an issue because that could be Grinder. Shout, shout. Keep chasing me. Thankfully, Grinder's not cutting me off. Okay, hopefully my stealth didn't cause him to forget where I am. I think it did. Damn it. Here's shout. Shout, shout, let it all out. I feel confident about beating this guy. I just need him to sort of come to a staircase, you know. Which, as I said, that's our base of operations. That's the place. But oh, there he is. Okay. So this is a little unfortunate. I don't like that I'm so close to him so far from a staircase. Okay, I don't know if Dazzle Flash is actually going to do this for me. God damn, this is actually dangerous as hell. I'm going to walk away. And if he uses the wand, yep, he's going to do damage to me. But that's okay. We're going to go up. I'm going to rest off that damage. I will not eat a ration. Maybe we can kill him and eat him. Save some rations. We'll go down here. This has created space. We'll dart him. We'll dart him again. If we take too much damage, I can just go up. I'm going to assume he can do 15 damage to me. That's probably... I'm basing that off of the fact that I assume it uses the exact same formula as Throw Flame. And if I look at a Jib, I think his hit dice is 3. So yeah, he can do 15 damage to me. I couldn't really tell you about what to do with your money there. Okay, we're gonna shoot the ray. Puff of Flame hits me. This is becoming a little risky, but I'm gonna let it keep going. We're gonna swing. Now he's constricted. So it was a bit risky for me to continue. What I probably should have done is gone up, you know, and just reset the fight. But now that we're kind of in it to win it, he should die pretty soon. Yeah, we killed him. It's cool. And we get the wand. So now we have a wand of flame, 4 charges. I would say that right now is probably a pretty good buying opportunity actually for crypto, but then again, perhaps all of the world markets are just going to take a gigantic shit, including crypto, in response to the coronavirus. Who knows? Personally, I am dollar cost averaging into the S&P right now, because I believe that this is all going to blow over. But I guess we'll find out. Maybe a long-term bear market is here. Who knows? Although it is interesting, Bitcoin crashed at the same time as the markets. It may not be related as much as you might think. Oh no, Gary Burton, that'll be so hard for me. Yeah, so like, the thing is that it may not be that Bitcoin crashed because the markets are down. It may be that Bitcoin crashed because, you know, because of something else, which is that there has been this thing called Plus Token, which is a scam, where they got a hold of a lot of Bitcoins a while back. And 6 of the people who ran it actually went to prison, but they managed to, you know, somebody else has control of the actual coins that were stolen or scammed from people. And they've been dumping those onto the market every time Bitcoin has been going up. And they're just about out of coins, but mysteriously, this latest dive from like 10,000 to around 8,000 coincided with a dumping of those Plus Token Bitcoins onto the market. So it's kind of hard to say if that caused the downturn or if it actually is to do with the markets, you know, the actual traditional stock markets and things being down related to the coronavirus, because people have been trying to say, well, see, it went down at the same time, therefore it's not a very good, not a very good safe haven in a disaster. But I'm not convinced. I mean, granted, I'm a pro-crypto guy. I run rosecrypto.com. You can learn about that stuff there. Obviously, I'm going to give you the pro-crypto slanted thing because that's what I believe. But I am trying to be objective, and I don't buy it really. And here's another thing: is like safe haven assets oftentimes are not safe havens during the storm. They're safe havens right after the storm, right? So like even gold might go down whenever there's some kind of financial apocalypse because everybody poops themselves and they're like, I need to be liquid right now. I need all my money right now. I need to be able to trade things, you know, once this is all over, and kind of take a step back and breathe for a second and then decide. But it really, I don't know. It depends. It may be that Bitcoin's doing that. I guess you really just have to wait and see. Nobody can tell you for sure what it's going to do. Anyway, sorry, this is not a Bitcoin stream. This is not a financial advice stream. I would never give financial advice because that would be questionably legal, but I will give my opinions, I suppose. Anyway, we're going to skip D3 now. I just don't feel confident against Grinder. We go down here, we see that there's 2 potions of curing. That feels good. There's an orc who has nothing equipped. There's a Quokka skeleton. We'll dart his ass first because he's fast. Then we'll kill the orc. We see that there is an ogre. Hello, baby. We're going to wait for him, actually. Wait a minute. No, we're going to switch to the sling. Shoot. Okay, this is a problem. What I was going to do was try all 3 rays on him after I hit him with the sling, but we've got sort of bad luck with both. Now these fellas These fellas can do a solid 17 plus, I don't know, what does a giant club do? I guess 20, yeah. 20 damage plus 17 is 37, minus 2 is 35. They can almost one-shot me, so we're going to go up. And this is really bad because 2 staircases are right next to those fellas. So if this third one is next to something horrible, I'm just going to die. So it's not so good. Luckily it is not. There's just a scorpion, which is a little annoying, but we have the curing potions, so it's not a huge deal. We'll just Searing Ray him and he'll die. Get some gold. Searing Ray this dude, good. Grab the boomerangs. Probably just switch to the dagger. I assume boomerangs do more damage than... Actually, they do less. But I can have my dagger equipped at the same time, so we'll probably just chuck boomerangs if need be. Typically, I will start training evocations, by the way, as soon as I find a decent wand. I'm less inclined to do that right here on account of the fact that it's just a wand of flame and there's not very many charges. However, our aptitude is 1, so that's pretty good, and we don't have any training at all. So let's just take this to, like, I don't know, 3. Also, Fulminant Prism is starting to get to the point where we might be able to cast it soon. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to memorize it, that is. Look at that nice, sweet 21%. It's still yellow, so we're at the risk of suffering a pretty nasty miscast. But, I don't know. Seems good in an emergency situation, because what you can do with that is if I were to go to cast it, I place it anywhere, and the little yellow, light yellow is where it's going to explode. The sort of brighter yellow in the center is where it's going to be placed. It takes a few turns for it to charge up and then explode, and while it's charging up, it takes up a space. And that means that a monster can't walk through it. They have to attack it, which can make it explode prematurely. And also, it blocks hexes. So Grinder, for instance, would not be able to paralyze me through that. Anyway, we have a 2-stack now. Let's use that. It's Enchant Armor. I suppose I can enchant my Kite Shield. We could take a look and see what this does to our casting now. Technically, I could have a Kite Shield on and still use Magic Dart, Searing Ray, Dazzle Flash, but the failure rate is impacted just enough that I don't really want to do that yet, but I'll probably be wearing that pretty soon. On the other hand, I do kind of like being able to cast Fulminant Prism as fast as possible. Almost wishing that I had gone for Che or even Vehumet so I could cast this sooner, because remember, Che gives you stats, so I would have a little bit more intelligence, which would let me cast a little faster. It's an Adder Skeleton. We can just Searing Ray him. Cool. Looks like it still does work even if they leave line of sight. It just wastes that that individual two mana on it. Oh, hello. Hello, buddy. Aww! Oh, we've been memed! Look at how we've been memed. The Robe of Night, a very nice, unique. A lot of reasons it's really quite good. Reduces vision, so like less things can be on the screen at the same time. Meaning that like you're not going to get hit by, for example, an Orc Priest at max range, because max range is less, reduced by 1. On top of that, it's got really good AC for a robe. Gives you Sinv, and the MR would be really quite nice in the early game especially. But sadly, I'm an Octopode, so I can't wear robes. I'm too much of a freaky Lovecraftian shape to wear such a thing. What a shame. Do I have that scroll yet? I do not, so it's not going to give me a 2-stack. Okay, I recognize this vault. I'm pretty sure this vault can spawn a Orc Priest. No, it can probably spawn ice monsters, because those are like icy walls. Check it out. I am going to make a Fulminate Prism, a little bit risky. Oh, he started hitting my prism. Let's hope he doesn't kill it. If I take a step this way, I think he'll move down and to the left as well. Okay, you hear a bark. That's dangerous. That means I really want to hoof it all the way to this staircase, just in case there's a hound coming. I'm gonna shout for this dude. Okay. Make another prism. I would not date someone with schizophrenia. That is a really strange question. Well, maybe. Depends how much lithium they're on. Alright, check it out. We're going to try to maximize, let's see, the amount of damage we do before he gets closer. But the thing is, he's speed 10, right? So we know we're going to get a ton of damage from this Fulminate Prism. And we know we're going to get like a little bit of damage from the Magic Dart, assuming that his AC doesn't block it. 1, 2, 3, 4... 4 steps. So we have, effectively we have 4 turns before we have to worry about him hitting us. We really don't want him, hey, thanks for the follow. We really don't want him to get right up next to us, right? So we're going to try what we can, we're going to try things out until he's like right here, and then we're just going to go upstairs if it starts going badly. Now, another thing I could do is I could set up another Fulminate Prism, right? But if this thing explodes next to a different Fulminate Prism, that Fulminate Prism explodes if it's within the radius. So we won't do that. We'll just Magic Dart. And finally we get a Prism doing really good damage. That worked out just fine. And we have pretty good evocations now. That's going to be 2, or rather 3 soon, so let's just turn on Conjurations and Hexes at the same time. Our goal is to just get this Fulminate Prism to really good castability, because that's the thing we're going to ride. You know, we're going to ride that to victory, basically, because it does so many cool things for us. Like, in addition to just doing a hell of a lot of damage, it does it in an area of effect, and it can block the kind of hexes that we just have no other real good answer to because we just don't have MR yet, you know? Which we're not going to get MR unless we happen to find a ring of MR, or we level up enough that our natural MR makes us, you know, somewhere in the ballpark of immune to, you know, confuse, paralysis, and what have you, which, you know, probably not going to happen for a while. Also, D3 has that grinder on it, and, like, I could go deal with him even without a lot of MR, but I would need a lot of hit points to feel really confident doing that, and I just don't. I mean, with 45 hit points, I could probably make it happen with a combination of Fulminate Prism, proper positioning, and just kind of a little bit of luck, you know. But I'd rather do this floor. The only stuff I've seen on this floor that looks remotely risky is the ogres, right? And I don't really care about the ogres. Alright, that's a bit of information leak. Slither home, thou, blah, 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 blah. You see somebody yelling like this, you know it's going to be an imp. That was definitely not the ogre yelling that. They don't say stuff like that. Just using these things. Again, it's a little bit risky because of the fact that the failure rate is so high right now. Like, I could be taking a bunch of damage. It's certainly possible. As a miscast happens. Ooh, that's a 3rd ogre. Let's just wait. I was hoping to get a little more mana back, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We'll try the prism. Maybe it'll kill him. Maybe it won't. It didn't. So, here's the question. Yeah, that is Dark Robe, Donamo. How about that luck? Finding Dark Robe on a character that can't use it. If we wanted to flame him here, he probably dies, right? Probably. But what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't die? Let's just run through this. And this is like quintessential streaking 101. He's here. I wand him. He doesn't die. He's now next to me. I could swing on him, probably kill him, or I could wand him again, probably kill him. Let's say I try either of those. Doesn't work. He's still alive. He hits me. He does his full damage. Let's say he gets lucky. He does really good damage. 20 plus 17 minus 2, 35 damage. Now I have 15 hit points. Now what do? Do I go upstairs? Oops, I'm dead. Do I walk backwards? I heal a little bit. Oops, he hit me again. I'm dead. Do I have any options? Anything I can do about that? Nope. So even though he's about to die and it looks like I'm going to have a grand old time just whooping his ass, we're just going to go up. Yep, we're going to go up. We're going to rest, and we're going to go down the stair that had all the ogres in it before. We've been wandering around so much that, you know, very unlikely for him to, for any kind of threat to be there. That was really going to be the same stuff that we saw before anyway. For example, there were ogres there before, and now there were adders and whatnot. Look at that, we miscast Prism twice. Luckily, they were harmless miscasts. Nevertheless, this is a little bit of a problem. Okay, we're going to go down this stair. I feel pretty confident, actually, about stair dancing him this way. Yeah. Right there. Alright, so this is a slightly different situation, because if he comes next to me, I don't just have my thumb up my ass wondering what to do next. I could wander off this way, jump my way around this pillar, and kind of wander off a different way. It's a bit risky, though, because other stuff could be on this floor that really ruins my life, so I think I'm going to go up. Do the same thing I did a minute ago. That's pretty good. Now I will run the risk. He's so close to death. This thing will explode. It will do damage to him. Alright, I'm going to swing. Oh, God. See, so that could have been horrible, but that was calculated. And if the worst case scenario had happened, and it almost did, 24 hit points, he did almost his max damage. I still had time to wander off this way, which is probably not a dead end, and make some stuff happen. But based on what I know about Fulminant Prism, that was going to explode. It was almost definitely going to kill him, and even if it didn't kill him, it was going to take him next to dead. With that said, it was probably not optimal for me to play it that way. I probably should have just not let him get next to me and kept doing the ultra careful play of, you know, fighting him from staircases when he's tiles away from me. Hey, buddy. It's a rambunctious ant there. Aha, potions of curing. Okay. I feel good about auto-exploring this place, I guess. Still no 2 stacks of scrolls. Hello, glowing rapier. Holy shit. Adder simulacrum, giant cockroach simulacrum. That is a new vault, I think. Simulacrums this early are a little bit spooky. Grab the rapier. Not going to wear it because it could be cursed. I care more about it being cursed than anything else. It may be worth it if we train some short blades if it was good enough, but I don't want it to be like a -2 cursed rapier and then have to train short blades for me to be able to attack at speed 1 again. There we go. Evocations is 3, that's enough for now. We can melt these things with our Wand of Flame, by the way. They are susceptible to that damage. But it's worth noting that simulacrums are actually, I think... Oh, yeah, they're a little bit slower than the original thing it's based on. So, like, a Quokka is fast, but Quokka Simulacrum is the same speed as me, so I'm not too scared, even though they can do a lot of damage. Oh good, a Potion of Stabbing. I'll be sure to pour that out and do nothing with it, because they're terrible. The White Imp shouts. I'm way more concerned about the White Imps, because if I were to look at what those do, we're looking at a solid 3d5 damage, and, well, 9 to 13 hit points. I guess if I get them in a Fulminant Prism, they'll die, but it adds up pretty fast. Oh, this is okay. This has existed for a while. This is not new. Yeah, I do. I'll give it to you later. I have your Discord, so I'll send it to you. Anyway, Rune translucent gate. Yeah, no, I've seen this before. I've never seen it spawn quite so early. We're going to leave this alone for now. This is fine. You know, we don't have to go in here and they can't come out until we see it, or until we open it. It's good to go. Glowing war axe. Oh, hey, baby. Have I found a Gozag altar? Alrighty. Well, we found the best god. It's the god I would have picked if I had any, you know, of my choosing. Also, we found a scroll of identify. What should we identify? Should we identify this rapier? Let's go with a scroll, because that's more likely to give us something that helps us survive. Fog is helpful. Not the one I would have picked, but... Anyway, we're not going to actually worship Gozag yet, because we only have one ration, and that can go really badly. Oh, I forgot I had that command. Well done, Mr. Ostrom. Let's make a prism. Something you can watch for when your prisms explode is you can watch for shouts, and if something explodes, because it does make a lot of noise, right? If it explodes, and you see like 5 shouts because of the noise, then you know probably there's like an orc pack or something coming, so you need to be aware of that. Seems like a logical stopping point. We didn't get too far, but I did find this altar, and this is your real major first decision point, is when you find your first super powerful god, if you want to take it or not. Gozag's really, really strong, but the problem is he turns all corpses into gold, and I've only found one. Well, I found more rations than this, but I've eaten all the others. I'm almost starving already. You know, so it's a problem. It's an issue to worship Gozag right now. Later you can buy food shops with him, but I don't have the gold to support that. I've only got 238. He's going to ask me for, I guess 78 right now. It's based on what you found. Yeah, you're gonna find that. You're gonna have to pay that, and then the thing is, you need like 800 for your first shop, so we could very well starve ourselves to death going Gozag, even though he's really, really strong. Is there a ring? Oh yeah, I'm carrying an ivory ring. We don't have any remove curse, so we're not going to wear this ring either. Okay, that about wraps it up. Next time we'll decide exactly what we're going to do with the god, but most likely we're going to just forego Gozag until we find a ration or two, then go back up and take him, and I'll just show you. I'll just do the tutorial as a Gozag caster, which I think is best because Gozag is just so very strong. Anyway, that's going to be it for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed this first session of the Octopode Conjurer. That's right, never worship Gozag on a troll or a ghoul, that's for sure. Anyway, that's going to be it for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I am signing out. Did you know that there are many ways that you can help support this channel? Read about them on rosecrypto.com/support. At Rose Crypto, you can learn all about cool things like the Brave web browser, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.